What's on, ladies and gentlemen? My name's Ross, I like games, and today we need to take a look at all of the green Digimon that are coming in Booster 1.0. We have been working our way through all of the colours. We've got to green, and I'm a little sad 'cause my favourite green, Ceresmon, is not in Booster 1.0. Remember, all the ones we talked about that aren't in 1.0 will be in 1.5. Which, if you don't include the pre-sale, is only a month later. But then again, between the pre-sale and the main sale, there is a big webcam tournament, so I do count it. Anyway, what green have we got? Now remember, green have not yet got a starter deck. They're getting one later this month in about 3 weeks' time in Japan. So all we've got is what we got in the first 3 Japanese sets, although green were in all of those sets. So in terms of Digitama, we got a couple of options. We've got Tanemon. Tanemon has an inheritable skill whereby when you're attacking, if you have Digivolve this turn, that is any of your Digimon, you gain 1,000 power. This is one of those 1,000 power boosts that you're probably going to actually hit. Fremon, if your opponent has 2 or more suspended Digimon, you get 2,000 more power. Now, I love this because the thing is, if your opponent has blocked, they're going to be suspended. If they attacked on their turn, they're going to be suspended. And green have a whole bunch of ways of suspending your opponent's Digimon. So a lot of the time, I do like Fremon. I do think it's going to work a fair bit, if I'm honest with you. It's not going to be a bad one at all. Now, in terms of other Digitama, I'm afraid we don't have any. Because there was no starter deck for green, you don't have the extra one from the starter deck, and although we did get a couple of, say, black and purple coming in from Booster 2, we didn't get any green. So if you're looking for a green Digitama, if you want to be playing green once we see the release of Booster 1.0, I'm afraid those two are your only options. I've just shown you all. I'm sorry, that's all we've got. But moving on from green, or at least from Digitama, we've got Goblinmon. Now, Goblinmon is nice and simple. It is a 2 cost to play normally. We talk a lot about the fact that because your breeding stage, breeding phase, you can either hatch a Digi-Egg, or if you've got an evolved Digi-Egg, you can bring it out. It means that once every 2 turns, you can hatch an egg, evolve it, bring it out. It means most of your level 3s are going to be played normally. Having a 2 cost is good. Mushroomon is another 2 cost. It's got 4,000 power. It's nice. 1 cost to evolve we really dislike. Remember, on your first turn, if you go first, you start with 0 memory. The first card you play that costs anything gives a game to your opponent. And then it's their turn. And we don't want to pay to evolve level 3s. But to pay normally, yeah, we like Mushroomon. Tentomon actually has an inheritable skill. When you attack, you suspend one of your opponent's Digimon with 3,000 power or less. I did tell you that we are going to have a bunch of ways to do this. Please do remember that inheritable skills do not work on the Digimon on which they're printed. They work on the Digimon that evolve from them. Palmon has its own skill though. When you play it, you reveal 3 cards on the top of your deck, add a level 4 Digimon to your hand, and place the remaining cards on the bottom of your deck in any order. Essentially, there are 2 things that green Digimon decks do well. One is evolving and getting rolling faster. The other is resting your opponent's Digimon. This is the former. You play a level 3, you search your level 4. Life is good. Kokuamon, we've got an inheritable skill whereby while this Digimon is level 6 or higher, that is level 6 or 7, you gain security attack +1. When you attack your opponent's security, you reveal an extra security card. This is a good thing. But it is a level 3 that costs 4 to play normally, 1 to evolve, which you will notice is higher than all of your other level 3s. You've been warned. Moving into level 4s, we've got Ogremon here. Now, Ogremon is a 4 cost to play normally, 2 cost to evolve, 4,000 power. Nothing special there. But you got Jamming, which is to say, when you attack your opponent's security stack, a Digimon is revealed, and even if that Digimon has equal or greater power than you, you're still not destroyed, so you can go after your opponent's security stack knowing you're going to survive. Jamming is good. Kuwagamon here, we've got a skill whereby when you play, you suspend one of your opponent's Digimon. Remember that play skills and Digivolve skills are different. This is when you play it for a 4 cost normally. but you get to rest or suspend one of your opponent's Digimon. That's a good thing. Vegemon is a just vanilla Digimon, but it's a 1 cost to evolve. I've told you that one of the things green does is get rolling earlier, like we see with Palmon searching at a level 4, like we see with Vegemon evolving for 1. This is a good thing. Woodmon is your generic blocker. You didn't get one in the starter deck for green because there was no starter deck, so you get it here. It's got blocker, which is to say if your opponent attacks, you can redirect the attack to yourself. And when you attack, you lose 2 memory. You do not want to attack with Woodmon. Unless you're absolutely desperate, you can take a key KO or deletion in the parlance of Digimon, or it's going to literally win you the game. Generally speaking, you sit Woodmon out there and you block when the time is right. You don't attack. Now, Kabuterimon is a Digimon that sees a lot of play in green decks. It is a level 4 that again costs 1 to evolve, so you can get rolling faster. This is good. But it's got an inheritable skill that gives you an extra 1000 power for every suspended Digimon your opponent has. And given that if they attack or block, they're suspended, and given that we've got ways to suspend them, this could end up being quite a lot of Digimon much faster than you might think. I know Vegemon is cheaper to play normally as a 4 cost, but generally speaking, I am a much bigger fan of Kabuterimon here. Togemon is a level 4, and when you Digivolve, you reveal 3 cards on the top of your deck and add a level 5 or higher Digimon to your hand. Oh look, it is the level 4 equivalent of Palmon. Play Palmon Search a level 4, evolve into Togemon. Palmon is a play skill, this is an evolution skill. And you Digivolve and you find a level 5. Do remember, level 3s can't really have evolution skills because skills don't work in the breeding area and you can only evolve into a level 3 in the breeding area. So you're not going to see level 3s with Digivolve skills. It makes no sense. They wouldn't work. They literally wouldn't work. Digitamamon is the memory borrower. We get one of these for every type. We've seen them in all the others so far. When you attack, you gain 3 memory, but at the end of the turn, you lose it. You don't gain any memory, you borrow the memory. But if it's your last turn, if it's going to give you a big boost, if it's going to give a really big turn now, yes. But that is it. I'm not a huge fan of the memory borrowers, if I'm honest. Now, Mega Kabuterimon, when you attack, it's got an inheritable skill. If your opponent has 2 or more suspended Digimon, you gain a memory. I told you this is what green does. Green suspend Digimon. We've already seen ways to suspend. We've already seen ways to take advantage of the suspension. Gaining memory is awesome. This is a good card. Okuwamon, on your turn, it's got an inheritable skill. When this Digimon deletes an opponent's Digimon in battle and survives, gain a memory. Nice. And it's not limited to once during your turn, so if you can keep making it active and keep deleting Digimon, you can keep gaining memory, though it is only, well, it's a 6,000 power, but you can evolve into a bigger Digimon, and remember, inheritable skills work on the evolution, not on a Digimon that's got it printed. Jagamon is a level 5, and when you attack, you reveal the top 3 cards of your deck. The difference here is not only do you reveal the level 6 green Digimon, you Digivolve without paying the memory cost. So we've seen a level 3 that gets a level 4. We've seen a level 4 that gets a level 5. This is not a level 5 that gets a level 6. This is a level 5 that evolves into a level 6. And you can see here how my claim that level 6 Digimon that are green can come out faster and more easily than level 6 Digimon from other colours. Now, Lilymon's got an inheritable skill. When you attack, you suspend one of your opponent's Digimon that doesn't have blocker. Oh look, more ways to suspend. Now, moving into level 6s, we've got a few options. We've got Titamon here. Titamon is the generic vanilla level 6 that would have been in the starter deck had green had one. 10 cost to play normally is cheap, 2 cost to evolve is cheap, 12,000 power is high. But there's no skill. So the deal here is very simple. It's cheap, it's powerful. If you want a level 6 Digimon to go smashing, it's a good one to play. If you'd rather have skills, we've got Hercules Kabuterimon here. It's got piercing. Usually you either take out a resting Digimon or you attack your opponent's security stack. But Piercing says that if you take out a resting Digimon, you also get to perform a security check. No more choosing for you, ladies and gentlemen. You get to do it all. But it's got a really interesting skill as well, whereby at the end of your turn, or end of your attack, limited to twice during your turn, you may pay free memory to unsuspend it. Now, it depends how much memory you've got. Remember, if you've got 2 memory and you pay free to unsuspend it, it goes to your opponent's turn. And that's still good, because your opponent can generally only attack suspended Digimon. You've got to be resting, you've got to be suspended to be attacked. So this is nice, because you're now unsuspended, you can't be attacked. But what you really want to do is have like 6 or 7 memory and attack with this, unsuspend, attack with this, unsuspend, attack. That would be nice. Now, we've also got Rosemon here, and don't forget we got a lovely alternate art version in the set as well. But Rosemon here, on your opponent's turn, when an opponent's Digimon attacks a player, that is player or security, if this Digimon is suspended, which is to say you attacked last turn, a lot of the time it will be, you also suspend one of your opponent's Digimon. And it's not limited to once during your turn. So if Rosemon is suspended and your opponent attacks you 3 or 4 times, you rest 3 or 4 of their Digimon. Of course, given that they're probably removing a security card every time they attack, if they are attacking 3 or 4 times against you, it's probably not going to end well. Now, those are the green cards that came around in set 1 over in Japan, but we have brought a few over from set 2 and set 3. In set 2, in fact, no, it's just set 2. There are no set 3 green Digimon that actually got brought over. My apologies. But we got some set 2 ones here. We got some ultimate power. We've got Agumon. Yeah, Agumon gets around, guys. Agumon gets into most colours. By the end, it will be in all colours. It's got an inheritable skill that on your turn gives a Digimon that has evolved from it an extra 1,000 power. It's more power. More power is good. We've also here got Tyrannomon. When you Digivolve into it, Digivolve not play normally, you reveal 3 cards on the top of your deck, and you can add a level 5 Digimon and a green tamer to your hand. You might not find them both. I would suggest that most of the time you're not going to, but sometimes you will, and it will be wonderful. Metal Tyrannomon's got a lovely inheritable skill, whereby when this Digimon deletes one of your opponent's level 6 or higher Digimon in battle, unsuspend this Digimon. So basically, if you can keep taking out level 6 or higher Digimon, you can keep making yourself active, and that's kind of beautiful. We've then got Cherrymon, who is a blocker. But it's a powerful blocker, a level 5, 7,000 power blocker. That is a big, bad, powerful blocker. And then we've got Puppetmon. Puppetmon, incidentally, also has a lovely alternate art. Puppetmon here, when you play, you suspend one of your opponent's Digimon, and during your opponent's next turn, or next unsuspend phase, none of their Digimon get unsuspended. Which is wonderful! They attack with a bunch of Digimon, you then suspend another one, and none of them get unsuspended. If played right, this is going to give your opponent an entire turn without really attacking. Because any Digimon they play are going to have summoning sickness, or whatever this game's equivalent of that is. You can't attack the turn you play a Digimon. This is wonderful! It is a play skill though, so you've got to pay the 11 to play it normally. It's also got a skill whereby when you attack you gain a memory, and gaining memory is good. And then there's one more level 6 here, it is Rust Tyrannomon. Now, Rust Tyrannomon is an expensive Digimon, 13 cost to play normally, 4 cost to evolve, but Rust Tyrannomon breaks the rules of the game. And it does that because if you've got a green tamer in play, you can attack unsuspended Digimon. One of the fundamental rules is you can only attack suspended Digimon, not Rust Tyrannomon. But also on your turn, when this Digimon deletes one of your opponent's Digimon in battle and survives, you suspend one of your opponent's Digimon. Seriously, there are so many options for suspending Digimon when you're playing green decks. It's kind of beautiful and lovely and wonderful. Now, moving over to have a look at Tamers, we do have a few options here. We've got Izzy Azumi. If you've got a level 5 or higher green Digimon in play, it's only a 2 cost, that is cheap. You can suspend this tamer to reveal the top card of your deck, and if it's a Digimon card, you add it to your hand. Bearing in mind, most of the time, you are going to be playing a few tamers and maybe a few option cards, and the majority of your deck is going to be Digimon. An awful lot of the time, this is going to draw you a card. That is a very good thing. But Mimi Tachikawa, in my eyes, is the very best of all of the tamers we've had revealed so far. At the start of your turn, if you've got 2 or less memory, you set it to free. That's quite nice. But if you've got a level 5 or higher green Digimon in play, you may suspend this tamer to either hatch a Digi-Egg to an empty space in your breeding area, or move a level 3 or higher Digimon from your breeding area to your battle area. Or to put it simply, it gives you a second breeding phase. I said how generally it's every other turn that you can hatch a Digi-Egg, evolve it up and bring it out. Oh no, if you've got Mimi in play, it's every turn, and you can play multiple Mimi here. But if you are playing the Tyrannomon cards, you are probably going to want to play around with Tiger. Because Tiger says it's a free cost tamer, all of your Digimon with Tyrannomon in their names gain piercing, so when you take out a resting Digimon, you also perform a security check. And on your turn, when you Digivolve one of your Digimon into a Digimon card in your hand with Tyrannomon in its name, that is Rust Tyrannomon and any that just have Tyrannomon there somewhere, you may suspend this tamer to reduce the cost of evolving that Digimon by 1. If you're playing the Rust Tyrannomon deck, it's got to be Tiger. If you're not playing a Tyrannomon deck, don't play Tiger. It is worth bearing in mind, Tiger might be a green tamer, but it says nothing about green in here. So we've got red Tyrannomon lines. Tiger works for them very, very nicely as well. Something to bear in mind. Now, in terms of option cards here, we do have a few we can talk about. We've got Hornbuster, a 1-cost option card that gives one of your Digimon an extra 3,000 power for the turn. And as a security card, you suspend one of your opponent's Digimon and put this card into your hand, which is cool. Smashed Potatoes is a very weird name for a card, but it's a 2-cost option card, and for the turn, the next time you would Digivolve one of your green Digimon from level 5 to 6, you decrease the cost by 4. But remember, you're paying 2 to play Smashed Potatoes, so really, you're saving 2 memory, which is still quite nice. Flower Cannon is an absolutely huge card. It sees play as a 4 of in the majority of green decks. It is huge. It sees so much play, it's silly. It is a 2-cost card that suspends one of your opponent's Digimon. And as a security skill, it suspends all of your opponent's Digimon that don't have blocker. It's great. And there is an alternate art version of it. Giga Blaster suspends one of your opponent's Digimon for free memory. Or 2 Digimon with 5,000 power or less. As a security card, it does the same thing. Dimension Scissor is one of my favourite cards. One of your Digimon gains the following effect for the turn. When this Digimon deletes an opponent's Digimon in battle and survives, unsuspend it. And if you can keep attacking and keep taking out resting Digimon, bearing in mind how often you will be resting them in a green deck, you can just keep going. You can wipe your opponent's board here. And remember, if they've got piercing, every time you take out a resting Digimon, you also get to perform a security check. Forbidden Temptation is a 4-cost option card until the end of your opponent's next turn. You can choose one of your opponent's Digimon to not attack or block. And as a security card, your opponent's Digimon do not unsuspend during their next unsuspend phase. Another one of these which is arguably better as a security card than it is normally. You also don't have to pay for it, which is quite nice. So they're kind of cool. And there are a couple of others that did come through from later sets. No, I'm lying to you. I say a couple of others. I mean exactly 1. We are also getting Terra's Cluster. Return 1 for a 7 cost. Return one of your opponent's suspended Digimon to the bottom of their deck, trashing all the Digivolution sources, and it does that as a security card. But remember, we don't really have ways to draw from the bottom or search our deck right now. So this is as good as taking your opponent's Digimon off the field. They will deck out one card later, but other than that, it's tantamount to just removing that card from the game. And there we go, ladies and gentlemen. Those are all of the green cards that you're going to be getting in Booster 1.0 to play around with green decks. If you want my recommendation, I want to make a Rust Tyrannomon deck. This looks fun. Bearing in mind, if you keep making it active with that option card that makes you active when you take out a Digimon, every time you take out a Digimon, you suspend a Digimon. Yeah. And you can attack unsuspended Digimon, which means that you can keep going, and it doesn't just have to be resting Digimon. Rust Tyrannomon can take all of them out. This is a card I am very much looking to build a deck around. But that's all the green cards, and now it's over to you guys. I want to know what you think about green Digimon and what decks you want to build, so let me know in the comment section. Go nuts, be nice. And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at the Wossy. That's where we talk Digimon and a bunch of other card games. And please do consider checking out patreon.com/PTCGradio, where you can support the channel, get some bonus podcasts, and all kinds of fun things. But by far the most important thing, as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching Wossy Plays. Bye.